Hello, I'm Liz Zorab and this is Byther Farm. I'm not on my own today. This is Tony from
Hey
UK
guys.
Here We Grow. I mentioned yesterday that Tony was going to be coming to come and have a cuppa and have a little nosy around. And while he's here, I want to tell you about his channel, which I discovered about a year and a half ago, but it's not a new channel. Tony, do you want to tell them a bit about your channel?
No, I've been making videos on YouTube for around about 7 years. Originally it started off as a video diary just so I could see what I was doing in my garden, see what worked well, what didn't. And because of our climate here, we were finding that we were planting things in one way and it was dying, and then we're planting something the next year and it was growing really well. So I wanted to sort of log that so I could follow along and then make changes to the way I grew here in our environment. And that grew on from there, and before I knew it I had some subscribers, and it just grew and grew and grew, and now we're currently at around about 21,500 subscribers.
Amazing,
so,
hey?
Yeah, so it's amazing, because it's funny because you look back at your early videos and they cringe. I'm like that, oh, you know, they're cringe-worthy, but you learn as you go.
You learn as you go.
Like gardening.
See, I've got another 5 or 6 years to go before I get as good as Tony. So
No.
give me time, give me time.
I was a late starter.
So Tony has been, he actually brought his camera, so he's been filming and he's given a shout out to 3 channels. Do you want to remind us which those channels were?
Yeah, so we've got Guru Mifinda, and he's a new guy that started about 7 months ago. Really great guy, and he's got a fantastic sense of humour, and because he's a new channel, I believe that we need to support each other, and that's why I'm here today, to support Liz and vice versa. So his channel is really good, and maybe Liz will put a link in the description below. Another one which I believe you guys have already met is Erica's Welsh Garden, and she's fantastic. She's really enthusiastic with the garden and everything else, and again, a new channel, and you're finding a lot of these new channels are coming on, and people are really getting into the video making and trying to pass on their knowledge. And I think it's the great thing that YouTube is, that you can pass on growing ideas. You know, recently we did a potato video, an experiment, and
that was amazing.
Oh,
that
it was fantastic,
fantastic.
And people received it really well. And you know, as a creator, I think that's important.
Yeah.
You put the effort in.
If you haven't found Tony's videos about potatoes, I'm going to leave a link to that up there.
Fantastic. And the third one that we give a shout out to was Liz. And you all know how good Liz's channel is, so otherwise you wouldn't be subscribed. So, but we've done a bit of filming around today, and we've been enjoying it, haven't we? And I've been amazed at everything Liz has accomplished over the last sort of 18 months, 2 years. Yeah. So it's fantastic. I happened to find Liz's channel because she subscribed to my channel and was commenting, and I make a habit of, if someone's subscribed to me, I'll always go and check to see if they've got their own channel and see what they're doing, because we're all learning.
Learning all the time.
All the time, yeah.
If you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up or leave a comment, or both. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel.
I've been gardening since I was about 6 years of age with my grandfather, and I've been gardening, you know, ever since then, so 35 years. So you know, it's a long time. You pick up a lot of tips that you can pass on to people, and sometimes it's just that little seed that you sow gives someone that enthusiasm to go out there, and that inspiration to go and start their own garden. And that's where the magic is with YouTube.
Yeah, and the YouTube community, as many of you know, is absolutely brilliant. It's so supportive. You're all really supportive of me, but creators tend to be really, really supportive of each other.
Yeah.
And I was explaining to you that Erica from Erica's Little Welsh Garden will be here in 10 days' time, and we are starting a joint project in my garden. I think I'm getting the better end of this because she's
free labour.
She's coming here. She's helping me reinvigorate an area, the kitchen courtyard, which hasn't been touched really since we moved here, and it's chock-a-block with weeds, so we're going to give that a complete overhaul. And Erica is just, bless her, going to provide her labour for, well, for tea and cake.
And that's not a bad payment if you ask me. Is it gluten-free cake?
It's absolutely gluten-free cake.
That's right then. For those of you who don't know, my son and I are celiac, and that is another reason why I set out to become self-sufficient in a way, and we achieved that within about 3 years of starting our garden. So for the last 8.5 years, we've grown all our own veg, which lasts right through. So we grow enough potatoes to last us right until we're harvesting potatoes next year. And the same thing with things like the squash and things like that. Tomatoes, obviously you're not growing them in the winter here, but what we do is process them, and Liz has loads of videos on processing, which I love, and I follow a lot of them because that gives me new ideas on how to save things. But that's what it's all about, is making sure you can grow stuff through the winter as well to supplement what you already stored. And being celiac, the fruit and the veg is really important. And one thing we've got going at the moment is we're now growing pretty much all our own fruit as well, apart from the tropical bananas and things. However, we've planted a banana plant, and we're going to try and get that to fruit in the UK, and it's doing fantastically well, to the point where it's handed out a load of pups this year. So we've now expanded to like 11 plants.
Fantastic.
So it's just upping that thing. Yeah, so it's good.
Brilliant. Okay, so Tony and I need to head into the kitchen because there is some lunch cooking. So he's having a 100% homegrown meal. We're having some duck, some Greek gigantes beans, and some sweet corn. Does that sound alright?
Sounds brilliant to me.
And then maybe some meringues and raspberries afterwards.
Now all I need you to do is convince my wife that I can knock my ducks on the head. Do that now.
The thing about homegrown duck is it doesn't taste anything at all like a shop bought duck.
Flavour. It's just the same with veg as well, guys. Yeah, you can't buy this stuff in the shops. That's why we all grow it. So
yeah.
Anyway, Liz, thanks very much for having me here. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for coming. Tony's got a fantastic catchphrase. We're going to pinch it for this episode.
Remember, guys, you reap what you sow. See you later. Bye-bye.
What a lovely day I've had. It's been great to meet Tony. It's been really interesting to watch him filming and to see our homestead through someone else's eyes, which is always really interesting because it's not necessarily how I see it. Because when I look around our homestead, I see all the things I've done to it, and I also see all the things that I need to do to it. And like many gardeners, I tend to focus on the minutiae, on the detail, on what needs doing next. Sometimes it's really good to have a look around and have a look at the bigger picture and realise just how much I've achieved here in the last couple of years in creating the food forest, the annual vegetable garden, and these more decorative floral areas. It's really nice to do a collaboration with somebody who lives reasonably close, and it won't be very long before Erica and I start tackling the kitchen courtyard. But what I want to know is there an area of your garden that you're planning on revamping very soon, or to tidy up, or to build from scratch? If there is, leave a comment. Let me know what area of your garden or your home you're going to be tackling next. I'd love to know. Anyway, he's headed back now to go and get on with the rest of his day, and it's time I went and got on with mine. And so, wherever you are in the world and whatever you've got planned for today, I hope it's a good one. And I also hope you'll join me again tomorrow.